Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here, and today, guys, I'm here with another Total War Warhammer live BattleCast, and it looks like we're going to play the Beastmen against the Vampire Council. I can't actually remember the last time I played that matchup, so let's hope for the best and have some fun. So we're going to get Lore of Death. Let's also put him on the Pit My Ride Chariot, which I actually think wouldn't be terrible against like Graveguard and things like that. So we're going to get Fate of Buna to kind of take out Blood Knights and things like that. We're also going to get Spirit Leech to help, try and nuke anything, really, anything that's of a value. So for the front line, it's a little bit risky getting like the low tier frenzy units because their leadership gets cracked so quickly against the Vampire Count. So usually I would recommend Vestigores. Granted, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but that's just completely from my anecdotal experience. So let's go ahead and get some Ungar Raiders. Oh man, it's so risky. Like they get focused down so easily by zombie spam. So let's actually go with like a little bit more of a headstrong build. So do we want to get a giant? Let's mix a giant in there, cut one of these guys. So that should be a pretty scary little front line. And of course the giant is going to be immune to the fear and terror stuff. And that should be good. So do we want to mix in some Minotaurs? I feel like we need like a Cav presence. So we're going to get 2 Centaurs with Great Weapons, some Poison Warhounds. Now, if you mix these guys in with like the Fate of Buna, like against some Blood Knights, you can nuke them so incredibly hard. And I think it's going to be pretty strong. So let's see what else we want to get. We don't really have anything we need to like protect in the back line. I feel like a Gorbel wouldn't be a terrible choice, but our army is already like so expensive as is. Like we have a giant. So let's maybe cut this guy. Let's kind of go a little bit cheaper on our other troops here. So we'll get some of these guys to help out with like fodder and zombie summons and things like that. So let's actually, do we want to get 3? Okay, so we have 1,000 resources now. I could just get another group of Centaurs, honestly. They're very, very good against Vampire Counts. Like with their armor piercing, they can like cycle charge not Cryptors, excuse me. They can that actually reminds me, I need something to deal with Cryptors probably. Although the Gore Herds will do fine probably against those guys. And I do have a big fat giant, so he can probably do a little bit of bully beatdown action. So do I want to get Harpies too? Harpies are a bit of an interesting pick in this matchup. The Vampires probably won't go too heavily in the air, but there's not that many great targets for the Harpies in my opinion. So we're probably going to opt not to get those. Maybe like a single group of Ungors to just like pressure a Mortis Engine? Or do I want to get a Gorbel? What could I strip down? So I could get rid of Pimp My Ride and then get like a stripped down Gorbel, I think could be okay. Do we want to do that? But the Pimp My Ride is so much fun. You know what? Let's actually cut that. That'll give us a little something something. So we'll cut this guy. We're going to get Gorbel. We're going to strip him down like so, which should be fine. And because again, he'll have the bare bones here. So yeah, let's give this a try. This is a bit of an interesting build. The Mortis Engine will be tough to deal with because we don't have a ton of mobility, but hopefully Gorbel and maybe like Spirit Leeching it might work. I don't know. I'm really putting a lot of marbles in the Fate of Buna, being able to like win that battle against Blood Knights or anything. But again, he could just play like a Vampire Death Star, which honestly is a very tough build for the Beastmen. If they just go like a ton of Graveguard with Mortis Engine, Spears, and no Cav, like, because a lot of the value I want to get in this battle is going to be from taking out his Cav. So Fate of Buna, like, it's one of those abilities that kind of fell off the map a little bit. Like, a lot of people underappreciated its value. And then, I've had it used against me a few times, and I was like, damn, that is actually really strong. Like, it was nuking my Demogryph Knights down and my Reiksguard, and I was really impressed by how effective it was. So I started using it again, and I've been having a lot of success. So this is a cool map. Isn't this the map from the Errantry War for the Bretonnian campaign? I think I've seen it in a few YouTube videos, but pretty cool map nonetheless. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the Cloven ones. They're actually one of my favorite factions to play. Like, I know people say they're the weakest, but not the weakest, but a few of you guys in the comments were saying they're a very weak faction, but I honestly think they're pretty strong. Like, I think they're stronger than Chaos. Like, you have a lot of like cheap options, and you have an absurdly powerful Lord. Morgr is so powerful. Like, he alone can make the Beastmen like a decent faction. Granted, they do have some bad matchups for sure. Like, they have some very bad matchups, and like you guys said, you guys made some great points. Like, Empire doesn't really have a bad matchup. Like, they're so diverse, they can do well against everyone. Same with Bretonnia. Like, after the update, Bretonnia is incredibly strong. They can go fisticuffs with pretty much any faction. I don't think there's anyone that just like crushes them. Same with Vampire Counts. Vampire Counts are in a similar situation. They're very strong. They can perform well against anyone. Beastmen, yeah, they have a lot of matchups that are very tough. I would say Wood Elves are also pretty top tier. Like, more micro intensive. Like, Wood Elves are very touchy, but in the hands of a very good player, like Wood Elves, I'm not very good with them, but I played a few guys on ladder that are just incredibly good with Wood Elves, and it's really tough to take them down. So let's see how it goes, and hopefully my opponent loads in and the potato kind of yields here and lets him in. We'll see. I've been running into a lot of potatoes. Like, I've tried to do like 3 or 4 battlecasts tonight, but the potatoes were just like out of control tonight. Like, people were just lagging like crazy. It's too bad. It is what it is, guys. But in the next week, they're going to have the Dawn of War. Well, I guess by the time this video's up, it might have already been out, but they're going to have the Dawn of War 3 open beta, which is going to be fun. So I'll definitely be getting ham in there. So hopefully you guys don't mind this scenic tree kind of tour over here that we're having. But this is a very cool looking map. I feel like it's a little, like, deploying up here is very advantageous. I'm not sure where he's going to deploy, because I don't know, can't remember the last time or if I've even played this in multiplayer. So I deploy up here. So yeah, like, this is, I feel like this really gives the advantage to the faction that deploys up here. But yeah, again, we're both pretty headstrong factions that are just going to be going fisticuffs here. So I'm going to kind of mix in my front line, have a little bit of mixing and matching. So you don't want to put like your lower tier units clumped up because they could all collapse at once. So having them next to these guys means like your line will hold in some respect. So Morker, he's very good against vampire counts too. If you get like that Spirit Essence of Chaos off on like a low group of Blood Knights, it can really like finish them off before your opponents can heal. So let's do this. We'll put Big Papa Gorbel back here. Let's get our Centaurs over here. And Giants are very good against vampire counts as well. I really like them. So, I mean, that's one of the only ways that Chaos can really, you know, handle the vampire counts is, you know, using giant builds and just very long, atrocious playstyle. So let's do it to it. Gorbel's ready. He's got his big battle axe ready to party. Look at him. He's just kind of getting all hyped over there, doing his little haka thing. And yeah, of course, we do have the Spirit Essence of Chaos as well as the Staff of Ruinous Corruption, which did get nerfed. What it did originally was it started cooling down right away. So you would start the battle and it would just start ticking. So by the time the fighting started, you can summon some Chaos Spawn right away, which was arguably very strong. So I think the nerfs to Morker were fair. He's still a very powerful lord. You know, may err a little bit on the side of being OP, but still on that same coin, like the Beastmen are a very low tier faction. You know, not like the lowest in my opinion, but you know, still not the strongest by any means. So, you know, I think it's reasonable to have a lord that's relatively high powered to kind of give him a chance. But again, not a lot of focus put on the multiplayer in this game. I really wish we had like the Conquest mode that Shogun 2 had. God, that would be so cool, especially with like the old world and just like the lore behind Warhammer and just like imagine being able to like customize your armies and stuff. Like you really like playing Empire, right? So you can level them up, you can get some nice aesthetic changes. Like, oh, man, it would be so cool. So okay, so my opponent deployed off in the Shadow Realm. It looks like so he's very far away. So let's start marching. We're not gonna kind of try and draw this one out. So he's got some spears. I don't know where the rest of his army is, but we should get some sight here pretty quick with our Centaurs. They can ride it. Okay, so he's down there. So looks like he has a Banshee, which is okay. We brought Lore of Death, so that Banshee's just done for. It's just gonna get destroyed. So I don't know if there's gonna be any better Spirit Leech targets than that, but I would like to save up my wins. Ideally, guys, so if you look here, Winds of Magic starting, right? So you're playing in multiplayer, it's 1 per 6 initially. I mean, there are some factors that can make it more, but let's just say the base is 1 per 6. So every time I cast a spell, what's going to happen is it's going to take increasingly longer to recharge. So in the beginning of the game, if you can, it's often optimal to let it recharge to 30 before you cast the spell, so you're getting like your maximum bang for your buck out of that. So he does have a Vlad von Karstein, definitely going to be the last target. He has Crypt Ghouls, actually. Oh, interesting. So the Crypt Ghouls will suffer really badly against the best scores, but they'll do pretty good against these guys. So he does have some Blood Knights over here. Oh, no, those are Varix Reavers. So I actually really, really like Varix Reavers. They're like one of my new favorite cav. They're relatively cheap. They do have regeneration and a bunch of goodies. So yeah, let's come down here and fight him. You know, we don't have any like range, so let's. Although honestly, this probably wouldn't be a bad spot to like force him into. But neither of us have range, so we can't like dictate the pace of the fight, and I don't want to be that guy. So let's get Pimp My Ride coming down here. We could get a Fate of Buna will destroy these things, especially with these Centaurs. So what I'll probably do is try and like get a wrap on them, like use a Fate of Buna and wrap them so they can't escape. But I do need to save some Spirit Leech, and after that, we'll just start Spirit Leeching right there. So okay, so he does have some Black Knights coming with lances over here, so that's going to be pretty tough. But Gorbel should be able to deal with those pretty effectively, I would say. So what are those? Those are Varix Reavers. Those have regeneration. These guys don't. So what I should do right now is maybe, do I want to fall back? Let's actually go and like kind of like down here. That should be okay, and we kind of just like meet him head on right here, which should be fine. That'll take away the flank, and then that means if he wants to come around the back, he's gonna have to like come all the way up and around like this, which is much more predictable, easier for me to adjust to. But it actually looks like he's coming in somewhat hot here. So no, he's actually slowing down. So we might be able to get away, and Beastmen are very fast, so we can like kind of dictate the position of the battle. So okay, so our Winds of Magic's pretty good. We are clumped right now, so this is actually a really awkward position to be caught in. So let's like kind of square up to him here. We're gonna go ahead and charge in here. We're gonna get these guys going like so, and we'll go ahead and cast the Fate of Buna right here. Do we want to cast that? We'll see how he dictates this battle, if he's going to accept this charge here. So it looks like he is. So let's go ahead and pop that, and Doom. We should be able to get that. Oh, we're a little out of range, but we get some really good shock damage, which is nice. So we do have some troops coming over here, so we're going to kind of square these guys up here. We can send Gorbel to kind of intercept them. That's going to be a good situation. And we do get a great burst damage on these guys. So my dude's coming over. Let's go over there here a little bit, and he is bringing some spears, so let's actually bring some of these guys to help out, and just go ahead and get ready to engage in the front line. So good. So everything's going to code. We can just kind of engage and ignore those guys. Let's get Morker fighting, of course. Very, very important stuff, and get the Giant fighting over here as well. So we are going to get this Fate of Buna here in just a moment. Although I don't even know if we need to use it at this point. Let's just go ahead and save it for his other cab that are coming in. So Gorbel should be able to occupy a lot of those guys, which would be really, really nice. So at this point, we can probably honestly start Spirit Leeching the Banshee. Like, I think that's a pretty good use of our time. Let's do that, and we could get a Fate of Buna on these Varix Reavers here at this point, because they are healing. So let's pull back, get away from the Skeleton Spears, get this guy engaged here, and we'll go ahead and use this goodie. And you can see Gorbel like occupied those guys and kind of like bogged them down, which is really nice. So Morker, we want to make sure you know, we have all our goodies kind of up and running. Let's go ahead and get this giant kind of chasing this Claw of Nagash. I feel like that's going to be a pretty good choice. And the Spirit Leech just destroyed that Banshee, which is really, really nice. So you can see we disengaged here, which was great. And let's go ahead and kind of pull over here and get ready for another charge. He does get a little rear charge with the Dire Pack, and you can see his dudes are coming in now. But yeah, let's go ahead and get these guys kind of, we can, charge those guys. It's going to be a little bit rough. So you can see that Fate of Unit just annihilated those Varix Reavers. So they're pretty much taken off the battlefield. We do have another Spirit Leech. Let's go ahead and just finish off that Banshee, because the Banshee and the Terror against Beastmen is pretty strong. You can see we're already having some Terror issues. So, okay, so we Spirit Leech her again. Let's go ahead and pull these guys in and get a nice little rear charge over here, which will be good. We were able to intercept those guys. Gorbel, we need to make sure to chase, because again, we were kind of sloppy with that. But we do have some troops kind of regrouping here. They will Terror out like initially, but then they'll come back in and usually do their thing. So, okay, perfect. So let's kind of charge into the back of this and kind of try and swarm that Claw of Nagash, and we'll start saving Spirit Leech for that maybe. And good. So yeah, look at those Varix Reavers. They just got annihilated by that Fate of Una. But like I was saying, a lot of these infantry are having some problems. But guys, we do have Morkar the Shadow gave, so I think it's time to check for the Spirit Essence of Chaos. I don't think there's anything like low enough here for us to really like get our paws on yet. So we will have the Staff of Ruinous Corruption relatively shortly. So let's get these guys kind of coming over here. Gorbel needs to go after that Claw of Nagash. Let's get the Giant fighting that as well. And unfortunately, man, our caster is just getting, how did he break? Did he get like Terror routed? Because I mean, he's like full life. So let's push these guys back in here. It's going to be very, very important in this Terror-centric matchup. So we're going to kind of keep pulling back. Cycle charging, we do have a Staff of Ruinous Corruption, so let's go ahead and pop that right here, which is going to be really nice to kind of get that charge on the back of these like low-tier units. And yeah, let's kind of get these guys going here. And hopefully my Lord comes back. Man, not my Lord, but my caster. That's a pretty big loss to take right there. So he does have some low Crypt Ghouls in here, so we're going to get a second one. So this is really going to change the tide of the battle. And yeah, that Mortis Engine, though, is doing some serious work. But with Spirit Leech here, we should be able to take it down, I think. So we're going to Spirit Leech it. It's getting healed by Invocation from the Heck and all kinds of goodies. You can see the Varix Reavers coming back in. So let's see. He did summon some zombies. So let's see if we can just like kind of come up and around and like clean up some of these units here. And our caster, we can actually keep him here so he doesn't get like Terror routed. So Morkar's in good shape. The vampire counts are taking some good damage here. We want that giant to kind of keep stomping the yard right here. And we do have a lot of troops coming back, which is great. So, okay, so my cav are kind of coming up and around. Let's see if we can find a sweet spot. And it looks like he does have like some cav over there. So let's pull them up and around here, kind of use this Arcane Conduit. It's going to be very, very important in this battle. And let's also use this leadership, which is going to be really good for like keeping that frenzy mechanic. And guys, look at this. The Spirit Leech was really good at actually taking that guy down. So once the Mortis Engine goes, I'm feeling pretty confident that we can, take this battle from here, because we have Chaos Spawn fighting, we have Morkar in here. Granted, look how fast the Chaos Spawn just get their butts kicked by those vampire units. So pretty interesting use of the Crypt Ghouls, and let's charge into these Knights here, try and finish them off. And is his dude still alive? I think it's actually dead. So we can start Spirit Leeching. I mean, honestly, we should probably save up for a Fate of Una. That might be better at this point. And let's go ahead and get an overhead and start looking for our goodies. And it doesn't look like we're missing out on anything. So let's get Gorbel and have him start fighting any large targets. But honestly, it's mostly like lower tier stuff right now. The Cav, we were able to do a pretty good job. Like, that Fate of Una just wrecked those Varix Reavers. So we're going to bring our caster in. We'll have a Fate of Una in a little bit. Gorbel's in good shape. Like, we can go ahead and put him on Vlad. Morkar can kind of just keep fighting in the pocket. And do we want to start? We might as well start Spirit Leeching him. I mean, it's pretty much all he has left of value. Like, everything else is pretty low tier in here. It's like Varix Reavers. But the Crypt Ghouls actually did pretty decently against our front line. You can see our front line is very tattered. But that Giant really proved himself and did pretty well for us. And you can see Vlad's actually taking some damage. He's normally like, you always got to save Vlad for last. Like, targeting Vlad is such a mistake in my opinion. Like, there's very few circumstances in which you should target him. Maybe like with some Empire builds when you have like really heavy like armor piercing. I don't know. It usually doesn't pay off, and I find myself just like wasting a lot of time when I should have been going after other targets. So we're able to kill Vladdy Daddy over here. So GG to my opponent. I like that build. I guess what would my critiques be? The Crypt Ghouls, I don't think, like, granted they did okay in the front line, but I think Graveguard and like the Stearnsmen would have done exponentially better. Like, they would have been, traded much more, and some Crypt Horrors, like maybe like get like 3 Graveguard, the Stearnsmen, and get some like some Crypt Horrors to kind of like help deal with Best Scores, because the Crypt Horrors would have absolutely annihilated these Best Scores, like just destroyed. But let's see. Other than that, I like the use of these Regiments of Renown here. It was pretty cool. Actually, this is just regular Black Knights, but Varix Reavers I'm a huge fan of. But again, they did get caught out. He did bring some Spears to support them, which I thought was a very good play. But when I pulled back, he didn't like adjust. He kind of just sat there and didn't really capitalize on that. But still, we had some inherent hard counters against his build. The Banshee, that's quite a bit of money. Like, that's a whole Graveguard. And we were able to just use like 2 Spirit Leeches and kill it. And then also the Fate of Una was very, very strong against this Cav-focused kind of group over here. But I like the 2 Spears in the back. Again, pretty solid build. And well played to my opponent, Mole HD. Look forward to seeing you again on ladder. And I hope you guys enjoyed that Beast cast. We'll see you guys soon, and take care.